going to rain on Friday, so I guess this is good weather for you guys to practice.
Yeah, we had a good session out there getting wet. Well, it's a play all conditions. Come ready to play. I'm sure Richmond are doing the same. They play a brand that sort of stacks up in these conditions, and bring it on.
How does that affect his style of play? Obviously, lots been made of how exciting the team's been, the whole Harlem Globetrotters idea. How does that affect the way you guys go about it?
Well, I think if you watch us play, there's an element of like just make it up, and there's some system attached to it too. So it's not just one way of scoring. We're a territory team, so whatever way we can get the territory, we'll take it. And if it's wet, we'll might have to kick it off the ground a bit more.
Are we likely to see Brody out there on Friday?
It's a watch his space actually. We were hoping he'd be a little bit more advanced where he is at the moment. So we've got match coming this afternoon. He's going to have to improve a little bit to be available.
So was it just a dislocation, or did he do some sort of damage as well?
Yeah, there's a little bit of like a splitting of the skin there, and it's got stitches required for that. So again, we're going to have to wait and see. He's not ruled out, but he's going to have to improve a little bit in the next 48 hours.
Jack Ginnivan, Craig, will he play VFL this week?
Yeah, he'll play VFL. They play Saturday night, and he'll get some chance to get some game time and make himself available. We've got a 5 or 6 day break after that, and heading up to Brisbane, and we'll assess it post game.
I think you mentioned sort of a couple of weeks ago, you wanted to see him really attack the training track and sort of be the best trainer as he sort of progressed in those 2 weeks. How has he done? Because it's obviously really tough to self-assault.
Yeah, Jack's trained. He's done everything he can do in terms of what he can control. He's trained really well for a couple of weeks. Trained again well again today. He looks ready to play, and then he's going to go out and perform at a different level. We all ask all our VFL players to play above the level, and we're no different for Jack. And look forward to hearing how he goes.
The AFL system, I guess, can be, that you ride the highs and the lows, and he's certainly sort of done that over in a very short space of time. I mean, is there any concern that he could sort of get chewed up in this bad group? He's obviously got the talent to play. It's just whether he can sort of ride everything else.
Jack's a 19-year-old player and human being that's trying to be better version of himself, and we're going to support him around his football and other parts of his life. We all make mistakes. We're looking forward to seeing his next reaction, which is his opportunity to play this week.
How different has he been at training?
I'd like to say the last 2 weeks, I think, is a real spike in his training, which is, again, what we've asked of him. Without playing, everyone else is playing. We want to see some intensity, what he's been doing. So, again, he's fitting well, and looking forward to seeing how he goes.
Ash Johnson played pretty well in the VFL last Saturday. Is he the likely in if Brody doesn't get up?
Ash has been in good form the last couple of weeks. He's another that's really playing above the level of VFL, and his name will be mentioned for sure.
2 weeks into the season, Craig, and it's obviously early, but there are trends, it seems like sort of the better teams are getting forward inside a lot more and pushing the ball forward, which I guess you guys are probably leading that charge. Is it maybe high scoring year in 2023?
I think it's hard to tell who the better teams are, to be honest. Like it's such an even competition. It's who you get and where you get them. How the teams performed the week before. You saw what Brisbane did the first week, and the second week they looked completely different. It's a bit hard to tell, but it gives us a few more weeks. We'll work out a bit more trends.
I understand Tom Mitchell's been carrying a bit of a back injury. Is that any concern?
How did you know that? That's good mail.
I can't really actually say that it was my fault. But anyway, is he?
Oh, he's no concern. No, in the first week he did have a little bit of a back complaint and got through the game, and it's getting better week by week.
How do you keep improving from week to week, Craig? It's a long season, it's a marathon, obviously. You're obviously playing some very good football right now. How do you sort of, not burn too quickly? We saw Melbourne last year dominate 10 weeks and then drop off.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought that. How do you keep getting better? We're just working our things we can do within our 4 walls, the things we can control, how well we did our weights today and how well we train this afternoon and whatever it looks like. I think it's fascinating what you measure too, and at the moment scoring's been considered a good measurement for us, but I think we had like 50 odd plus contested marks. That's a once in a lifetime thing. That's not going to happen again. But our GPS is low. So if you think, you're playing a high tempo game, the GPS has been quite low in the last couple of weeks comparative to other big games we've played. So I don't think it's been a cost on our physical output.
Tom Lynch kicked a big bag last time around. How do you see defensive structures trying to tame him this weekend?
Yeah, that'll depend on what we do up the ground, how much pressure we put on, and he's a quality player and such a beacon for him. So, Darcy Moore or Billy Frampton, those guys will get that match up. But He's certainly someone we're going to have to watch.
Are you expecting a tag for Nick Danicos? You're going to ask Danicos if he's going to tag him?
Well, I'd still tag him. I don't know how. A week's a long time in football, but he's a very good player.
Were you surprised last week? They went with the tag obviously early, and they just ditched it because it wasn't working. But I mean, he's going to get some strict attention at some stage. Obviously. How have you got a plan in place to?
Yeah, we learnt some great lessons down in Tassie. Nick got tagged the whole game, and from that we come up with a few strategies around how we can support him. It's very difficult to tag a player that can play 4 or 5 different positions, because that means their opponent has to do the same. So that seemed to work on the weekend, but it's not always going to work. And we'll have to meet each week as it presents.
I know it's really early, but I mean, is he potentially, can he be the best player in the competition at this age? Is that too set a high standard to set one?
Let's just take a breath and let him get through this third game for this year. He's performing really well. He's had an outstanding pre-season, but there's a long way to go.
There's a criticism of Richmond that perhaps their midfield is a little bit slow at the moment. Is that something that you guys feel that you can expose?
Oh, I'm not sure about that as a criticism. I've got great respect for Richmond. I'm never going to say a bad word about him, to be honest. I'm not standing here without my time at Richmond. I don't know if that's a criticism or not, but I know they're very fierce in the contest. They're a great territory team and got a lot of weapons, and the conditions like this are going to be a really hard-fought game.